Today, we're going to talk about a shoe that has been upgraded for your everyday runs. Today, we're talking about the Nike Pegasus 41. Hey runners, and welcome to my channel. My name is Letty. I am the host of the weekly marathon running podcast, and on YouTube I do shoe reviews, race recaps, running tips, etc. So be sure to check all of that out. But today we're going to talk about the Pegasus 41s. But before we get started, here's a disclaimer. This shoe has been provided to me for the purpose of review. However, no one is paying me for this review, and all opinions expressed here are my own. Alright, so let's talk about the model and purpose of the shoe. The Pegasus by Nike has been around for a really long time, and the 41 came out a few months ago. Alright, so the Pegasus line of shoes by Nike has been around for a really long time. They are your everyday trainer, and these are trainers that you literally can do your daily runs in and be happy with them because they're very different from everything else that is out there, and we're gonna hop right into that. However, before we hop into the key features, let's talk about the tech specs of this shoe. This shoe has a 10 millimeter drop, and in the women's size it comes in at 8.8 ounces. Now when it comes to the key features, let's start by talking about the upper of the shoe. This is a new engineered upper that is supposed to be an upgrade to make the shoe more breathable. One of the things I noticed, however, is that the tongue, compared to the previous models that we have at hand, is a lot more plush. And they're doing that because they want it to be softer all around. The midsole foam is the new React X, and then you also have air units in the heel to make the shoe as comfortable as possible for you. The heel has extra plush padding also to provide you with comfort. And when it comes to the outsole, this is a waffle inspired outsole that is supposed to give you more durability and even better traction. Now, when it comes to the colors of the shoe, we have a ton of colors available. There is actually 11 colors for the women's sizing. I don't even know how to pronounce half these colors. Usually in my shoe reviews, I always list all the colors. So I'm going to do that here on my screen because I don't even know how to pronounce half of these words on there. It's just too much. I feel like Nike goes a little bit overboard when it comes to its coloring. And that's that. For men, you have even more colors. You have 19 colors available. When it comes to the price point of the Nike Pegasus 41, the price point is $140, which is an increase that we've seen since the last release of a Pegasus shoe by Nike. Now they're more kind of in the middle of all the other daily trainers, so that's kind of a bummer, but we've seen inflation happening everywhere. Why wouldn't we see that with the Pegasus 2? All right, so comparing this Nike Pegasus 41 to its predecessor, the Pegasus 40, let's talk about that. The X-React foam has been updated, which makes it feel a little bit different, but maybe that is also because the Pegasus 41 has a 4 millimeter higher stack height. For that same reason, the Pegasus 41 feels softer to me, whereas the 40 felt pretty firm and almost flat. Nevertheless, both these shoes have a air pocket in the back and in the front, so they both feel very similar. In addition, the upper of the shoe is supposedly more breathable. However, we have the very plushy tongue now, which I am not a huge fan of because I live in Florida and everything gets very hot and humid. So I feel like when it comes to tongue and stuff, less is more. But obviously Nike is trying to provide you with a more comfortable ride here, and I think mainstream people really like these paddings on the heel and on the tongue more than I do, at least. In addition, as we already said, the price point of the Pegasus 41 is $10 more than its predecessor. Again, inflation's probably cause of that, but I feel like there's been an upgrade. But then again, if you really like the Pegasus line of shoes, then you'll probably welcome this upgrade. Now let's talk about my first impression when I received the shoe. I like the shoe color pattern. I feel like this shoe is very aesthetically pleasing, and I would wear it out for non-running events as well, just because I like Nike the brand. I like the color pattern. Now when I stepped into the shoe, I'm an 8.5. The shoe fit fine, but I would consider going up half a size, and this has never happened to me along all the shoe lines. I'm usually true to size. It felt like the front was a little bit too huggy for my feet. And I have normal feet, I don't have wide feet. But the good news is that this shoe is also available in extra wide. But again, I didn't have any issues with this shoe when I started running in it. I didn't get any blisters. I didn't have any weird hot spots. And so everything did turn out fine. So I do believe it's true to size, but maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my foot. I don't know. But now I'm going to show you guys what the shoe looks like when I run and walk in it. Alright, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion about this shoe. I liked the shoe and I would run in it, but I didn't love it because I feel like it was almost too in the middle, too mainstream for me. I feel like I didn't really know where to fit the shoe into my shoe rotation because I do have a speed shoe and I wouldn't use this shoe as a speed shoe. I do have a long run shoe for my easy recovery runs, but I feel like this shoe, even though it is softer than its predecessor, it was too stiff and not cushy enough for that. I feel like also it wasn't a good shoe for my race pace workouts because again, not a tempo shoe. This is an everyday shoe. But again, I did run in it and I didn't have any issues, any hot spots. It was a good shoe. Again, I'm training for an event, so I really just didn't know where to quite fit it into my running shoe rotation. All right, so let's talk about the pros and cons of this shoe. I feel like this shoe, comparing it to all the other shoes that I've been looking at over the last few months, this shoe comes in at a great price point because $140 for a daily trainer that lasts pretty well is really good. And I feel like this outsole will last you for quite a bit of time because it's very durable, right? So durability is the second pro that I have for you guys. Aesthetics, very nicely done. It is a shoe that you want to wear maybe not just when you're running, just because there's so many different colors to pick from, and when you have one that works with you and with what you like, it's one of those shoes you want to just put on, right? Now cons, I feel like the shoe is a little bit too padded, a little bit too heavy, and it's heavier than its predecessor, so I wasn't a fan of that. So in summary, who is the shoe for? If you're a person that is a fan of the Nike Pegasus line, then this shoe is absolutely for you because while I'm not a fan of every single part of the upgrades that have been done to this shoe, you might be. Nike obviously spends a lot of time listening to their customers and seeing what needs to be upgraded. I feel like the upgrades that they have done are very subtle and you might like them. Just because I don't like the extra plush on the collar and on the tongue doesn't mean that you don't, right? So that part was for everyone that is a fan of the Nike Pegasus. If you are not familiar with the Nike Pegasus shoe, then I'm going to tell you this. If you are like my husband, who is more of an entry-level runner, he doesn't run very regularly, he doesn't have very aggressive time goals, and he's not a fan of having designated running shoes for different types of runs because he doesn't do different types of runs, then this shoe might be good for you because it does give you a little bit of everything. You could push your long runs in it, you could push some speed out of the shoe. It does a little bit of everything, but it doesn't do the best at everything. And maybe that's all you want from a running shoe. So if that is the case, that's what you'll get with this shoe. Again, it's a beautiful shoe. I'll probably continue wearing mine on other outings besides runs, and maybe I'll figure out how to incorporate this shoe into my shoe rotation too. So this concludes my review of the Pegasus 41 shoe. Please let me know down in the comments if I missed anything, so that way I can read it and everyone else that's watching the video can also take a peek at the comment section to make sure they get the whole scope of the reviews. If this video was of any value to you as you are looking to purchase a running shoe, please let me know and consider subscribing to this channel because we do shoe reviews almost every week. So stay tuned for our next videos, and until then, have a great week of running.